My guest today is an important member of the band Cradle, Filth, and she decided to move on with a first solo album called Martyr. Please welcome Lindsay Schoolcraft. Hi, Lindsay. How are you?
Hey, I'm really good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. First, I'm curious. I have read that you was a fan of Cradle of Filth before you joining the band. Can you tell us the story of how did you been a member of this group and what is the feeling to play with them?
Well, actually, I was not a fan of them in high school. I first heard Cradle of Filth when Midian came out, and I quotingly said, like, the music is beautiful, but I can't stand the guy's voice, which is funny because now Danny Filth is my boss. But I rediscovered it the year before I joined, and I actually was connected through a friend who couldn't do the job, and she said, I know the perfect person. She's she's in Canada. It's a bit of a trek, but she'll do a good job. And I was told it was only going to be for like 6 months, and over 6 years now I've been in the band. So yeah, it's been a long journey.
Do you realize the chance you have to be part of that band and work with a guy like Danny Filth?
It's crazy. Like it's a little bit surreal for me because Danny Filth has had a huge influence on a lot of people around me, a lot of artists and people in metal. And, his career has spanned over 25 years and he's done so much. So yeah, it's just like, I still some days have to pinch myself that it even happened because I never would have saw myself in Cradle of Filth, like before it even happened. I never would have predicted or guessed that.
I know that your brother was a huge fan of the band. So what is the reaction of your brother the first time he saw you play with the band?
Oh, it was really weird for him because he actually moved to Glasgow in Scotland. So and he still lives there today for school and for his career. So, he came out to see us. I believe the venue there is called The Garage, and it was just like I saw him. He was like a little kid, I saw him side stage. I gave him like a little VIP area, and he was right close to the band, and he's just standing there and watching. And he said it was just the best he'd ever seen the band, and it was really weird for him to see me on stage, but he was really happy for me, and because he's been a fan forever. He's seen the band go through everything, and it was just such a great experience for him, and I'm so happy that we got that moment.
Pretty nice story. Next, why did you decide to move on with a solo project with your first album called Martyr?
Well, before I joined Cradle of Filth, I already was a solo artist. It was actually kind of me retiring from being in bands, which is funny because I joined a band again. But I had 2 local bands years prior that just didn't work out. And I said, you know what, I need to just go solo and find my own way. And I think I was just always a solo artist hiding behind a band. And when I went solo, that gave me the opportunity to do my first EP, which is now out of print. But that EP is what got me into Cradle of Filth. It was like my musical resume, so to say. So I'm very happy that I did it. And then because Cradle of Filth was such a big commitment and big responsibility, I had a very hard time doing a full length because of the demands. Danny had asked a lot of me, and that's okay because I've enjoyed being part of Cradle of Filth and the major responsibility, not just with the music, but with like help with the online stuff, makeup design, production design, costume design, lots of things to do with marketing and the music. So it's been really full on. But then at the beginning of 2016, I was starting to work on putting together a full-length album, and that's when Rocky contacted me. So, yeah, that was the beginning of Martyr.
Why did you choose to call your album Martyr? And what sense do you choose to talk in the lyrics?
Well, actually, it's a very interesting story. I really didn't know what I was going to call the album for the longest time. I just kept writing the music, and there's a few songs, like the bonus tracks, and then the song Stranger and Into the Night aren't necessarily like really I guess they're more just like mysterious. You know what I mean? They're not really so much about heartbreak, but the rest of the album was about a pretty hard relationship. You know, I noticed that a theme in a lot of the music was kind of like standing behind what you believed in. And, you know, then during the ending process, when we were almost done, like, tracking vocals, I had a cancer scare, and the doctor said, you know, we don't know where you're at, so you might only have 3 months to live. And that really, like, helped me hit the reset button on life and made me realize what was and wasn't important. So, you know, I had to go talk with my producer, and I said, like, listen, like, if I don't make it, please just release my music online. And he's like, wow, like, I've never had a request like that before. You know, but I made it. I'm healthy. I beat cancer. Here I am. Like, we're good. So it just felt like the right title, and it really tied into a lot of the themes in the music and a lot of the sound of the songs. And, you know, I'm like, well, it's personal to me. And out of everyone in Gothic metal, I don't think I've really heard anyone really use the word martyr that much. So, you know, yes. I was like, why not? Let's do it.
If I say music equal life or life equal music, it is the same way you think?
Yeah, it is. It is everything. I know that I'll die doing music and I'll die doing what I believe in. So, yeah.
All right. I have to listen to the album, and I have to say it's a killer CD. Great work. At your point of view, which song is the best track of the album, and why?
Well, I have like it's hard. It's like you're picking your favorite child, right? Yeah, I mean, I always knew that the single Savior and the opening track, I knew it was going to be something that I always wanted. And when Rocky Gray sent me the demo, he was like, oh, it's just a little sample. It's no big deal. Da 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 da. And I'm like, no, Rocky, this is something, like, I can feel it. And it is my favorite song because I think it's the music I've always wanted to write. And it was finally my time to be like, no, like, this is the music I want to write. Let's do it, right?
All right. Next, can you tell us a little bit of the story of how it was complicated and grateful to release the CD last week?
Oh my gosh. I could keep you here for hours. It was a disaster. I mean, it went well, but it was more of a new experience for me because so many bands that are signed, they have a record label take care of everything, you know, like down to selling the merch and distributing the music. And it's literally just me from a small desk in the corner of my room, my basement apartment in Oshawa, Ontario. Like, it's just all me. I've hired a team, and the basement right now looks like a warehouse. There's boxes everywhere. So it was just very difficult in the sense of getting everything lined up and trying to figure out what was needed when and where, and then use the online shop that I used. While it's very good, there's a lot of glitches. Download links didn't work. Orders were being processed wrong. It was just a nightmare, and I didn't really sleep or eat properly. But I mean, I got through it, and now everything seems to be smoothed over and going a lot better. But the rewarding part is you know, if I signed with a label and we did this, I would maybe see like an eighth of the money. But because I did this myself, I see all of the money. You know, I do have to give out royalties to Rocky and the other songwriters. But the fact that I, you know, have made a nice amount of money to keep my career going, and I didn't have to get a record label involved, it's very liberating. It was tough. I mean, I don't recommend everyone do it. If you have the determination and the right band members, then go for it. You know, email me, I'll teach you. But yeah, it was a new experience, but I feel like in the future it's going to be a lot more successful for myself and also for my side project, Antiqua. So I look forward to seeing those things launch without any complications.
I think you touched the goal with all you've done with this album at this time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, and just to close, Miss Schoolcraft, do you plan a little solo tour, new album with Cradle of Filth, or what's coming for you?
Well, actually, we are planning 2 shows for December. So December 6th, we will be in Toronto at the Garrison.
Okay.
And December 7th, we will be in Montreal, but we have not confirmed the venue yet. So come follow me on social media, and I will definitely post on when we will have a live show in Montreal, because I am very excited for that. I can't wait to get back to Montreal.
Hope Quebec can be a plan in a few times.
I hope so too. You know, I love Quebec City. So I'll do my best to kind of tag it in there if possible.
Lindsay, thanks for your time. It's always an honor for me to talk with you, and hope to meet you in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.